Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna look at a new palette that I just got, and it's this Game Beauty Fantasy palette. I already have one palette from this brand, and that is the Adventure palette. I kind of wanted to add another palette from this brand. Also, I just think that these palettes are really great for kind of like spring and summer looks, and since spring is about to start, I wanted to get this one. I also think that this palette is a great companion palette for the Adventure. It's a little bit more pastel-y than the other one, but I love these pastels. I think they're gonna be really useful. And I also love the blues. I think this is really cool color story, and I love the packaging on these. I think Game Beauty has one of the best packaging that I know of. As you can see, it's swatched quite well. I think the worst swatch was the shade Mage because it's kind of more dusty, I would say. In this video, I'm gonna show you 4 different looks that I created with this palette, and I'll also give you some review. So the first look that I tried was kind of more purple leaning. Firstly, I used the shade Mage since it didn't really swatch that well, and it's technically one of the deeper shades in this palette. I wanted to see how dark I can get this palette to be, and then I blended it with the pastel pink shade called Dreamland. These shades are definitely really easy to work with when it comes to how long you have to blend them. I think you can make these looks really quickly, but you can't expect to have extremely dark and opaque colors, because these are more on the pastel-y or like more subtle side. So if you like lighter looks, then I think this is a great palette for you. When I got these 2 shades kind of blended, I went in with my Nyx Glitter primer, and I used the shade Ethereal, which is this kind of like toppery purple. It's not fully opaque, but it's really sparkly. And then I used the shade Celestial in the inner corner. It's a really nice white-based highlighter. I also added liquid liner for this look and some mascara, and here you can see how it looked like. I think this is my favorite look out of all of the ones that I did, but I still have to play with this palette a little bit more to see what I can create. So as you can see, this is probably one of the darkest looks that you can create with this. For the second look, I went in with the more bluer side of this palette. Firstly, I used the shade Courage, which is the deepest shade here. It's like a really dark blue. And then I blended it with the shade Mage again, because it's a little bit, I think it's really good for like the smoky effect to kind of blend the darkest shade with. And then kind of in the first third portion of my eyelid, I used the shade Ice Fantasy, which is this like turquoisey, tealy shade. And then I went again with the glitter primer and used the shade Ethereal, because I just really like it, but I'm gonna play with the other shades as well. Then I went again with the shade Celestial, and I used it not only in my inner corner, but also in the first like third of my eyelid. In this video, I kind of had to switch positions because I was filming it late in the afternoon and the sun was just shining right in my face, so you couldn't see anything. I also used the shade Buff, which is this really like electric blue kind of lighter electric blue shimmer, and I used it under my eyes, under my lower lashes. And I really like how this look turned out. I just put some mascara and I put a liner from Odin's Eye to kind of finish up the look. For the third look, I kind of tried to experiment with the yellow shade, so I used majority of the blue shades and then the yellow as my inner corner highlight. I started again with the shade Courage to make it as deep as possible. I think if you really want to make it really deep, or at least as deep as this palette will let you, start with the darkest shade on the more tacky eyeshadow primer to make sure that the color is as opaque as you can get it. Then I blended it out with the shade Mage again. I added the glitter primer and I put the shade Mana on the eyelid. It's a really deep sparkly blue. And then for the inner corner I used the shade Illuminate, which I think on my eyes it turned a little bit more green than it is yellow, but I think it's still cool color combo, and I quite like yellows with blues, so let me know if you like this look. And then the last look, I think this is gonna be the most like spring appropriate pastel-y look. I started with the orange called Faith, and I used it all over my eyelid and also as my like main crease shade. And then I just slightly deepen it up with the shade Mage because I didn't want it to blend it into the dark blue Courage shade. So I instead opted for the Mage shade. It turned a little bit purpley, and I don't know if these two shades really go together, but I didn't want it to just have it so light, so I needed to deepen the outer corner with something. Then I added the shade Illuminate in my inner corner and kind of in the beginning of my crease to blend it nicely into each other. And I think this look would look good even just like this, to have the whole eyelid matte and just have the yellow, the orange, and then the kind of dusty purple in the outer corner. But I decided to also use the shade Celestial again, and I used it all over the lid. It turned this orangey shade a little bit more pinky, so I don't mind this look. It's definitely not something that I would go for very often, but I think it's very cute and very spring appropriate. When it comes to this palette, I think it's a really nice companion palette, and I think for spring it's absolutely perfect. I love the quality of these, even though they're not as opaque as the other palette, as other palettes in my collection. They're really easy to work with. You can create looks extremely quickly, and they're kind of no-brainers. If you want just like soft, easy, springy looks, then I think this is a perfect palette. And I love the packaging and everything. I think they really create in color stories. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about buying the whole collection because I just really love these. So that's it for today's video. Hope you liked the looks. If you want to see more looks with these palettes, I will be posting get ready with me's every day on my Instagram, TikTok, and also in the shorts here on YouTube, where I will be using the fantasy palette and also the adventure palette. So if you want to get more inspiration, definitely follow me and check out my channel for more looks. That's it. Have a great day and hope to see you soon. Bye.